there's dudes in cigar shops who go, when they put, one day when I'm doing the blends, I'm going to revolutionize. The revolution has come. We're not seventh generation cigar. I hear it all the time. I know what it is. We lived it. But there's a different thing. It's a little bit deeper. It's more organic. It's a lot more serious. It's fucking varsity shit. The varsity shit's a whole different world of I'm a blender. That's great. Put it in the magazine. The next level from there is texture. The next level, the world of texture. If someone were you, the best writer out there. If you write a book, write a fucking book on the texture of tobacco. Because everything we're talking about at the end of the day is taking that athlete and bringing it as far as possible. The further you take that tobacco, where I fucked up $52,000 of broadleaf the year before Steve came on in 2004, okay? When Vilazan taught me how to do tobacco, and Fritz Bosser and all sorts of people that you know or don't know, the areas that I missed were the most important areas. The areas that I missed were the very most important areas. The areas I missed were about understanding the most basic of philosophy, which is taking that tobacco and bringing it, driving it as far as you can, absolutely as far as you can, because all the time you're nervous. Am I going to burn the tobacco? Is it going to snap? You know, you burn the tobacco. You burn it up. You put your hand in here, it's hot. You leave this shit long enough, it'll catch on fucking
just
fire.
do the math.
I said to somebody in the thing that I blew up the factory. I didn't blow up the factory like with a stick of dynamite. What happened was, in 2002 was the first time I left the factory. Since 1998, I've always lived in the factory, always. So in 2002, I got serious with my wife. We went into the States to get an apartment in Manhattan. We got an apartment, I spent 45 days there. Afterwards, I spent a couple of days in Miami, and then I went to Europe for a couple of weeks to open distribution in Europe. When I came back, it was 90 days later. Every single cigar in the factory was rolled completely tight, okay? Every single stick. And this guy Lester, who was in charge of my production at the time, got paid off by another manufacturer who's here to make all of my cigars tight because they saw Drew Estate skyrocketing. We had 243 employees. When I came back from Europe and came to the factory and started smoking the cigars, you couldn't pull through them. Everyone was rolled like a brick, okay? And for me, that was everything. So at that point, I had no money, we were done. So I had to go to the government. I had to explain to the government that we're shutting down, that we're going to have to regroup. At that point, I had no money, I had nothing. It was all over, done, gabash. So we had to start from scratch and fire every single person in the factory. Ernesto Perez Carrillo got on a plane. He came to the factory. He slept at the factory for 5 nights. And the only people left in the factory was me, Rene, Rubio, Jesse, and Jasenia. And we started from scratch, hiring back 10 people a week, hiring back 5 people a week, hiring back 10 people a week, finding different production managers. And what I learned through that experience was this. All of the cigars, Ernesto would say to me, well, show me how you're making a cigar. Show me where the tightness problem is. And then we rolled a cigar, and I said, there, we smoke it together, burning incredible. No, because me, I'm all about the draw. People say to me, hey, JD, what's the secret behind Drew Estate? What has been the secret to your success? They want to hear about marketing and dots and infusions. And I tell them, it's the draw. The draw is what made Drew Estate. My dad says it every time. Smoke cigars, says to me, it's got your draw. It doesn't have your draw. The draw is everything. What I learned during those 5 days with Ernesto Perez Carrillo was the most incredible thing. What I learned was when I handed him a perfect cigar and we smoked it together, and he said to me, the cigar's tight. And I'm looking at it, the fucking thing is smoking like a chimney. What do you mean the cigar's tight? The cigar is tight because you're not rolling the cigar in a way that will always be the perfect draw. The perfect draw is a cigar where the tubes, the channels of air always can find their way no matter what. What he said is you're just getting lucky on these cigars. That had nothing to do with the problem of blowing up the factory. That was sabotage. Separate from sabotage, I didn't understand. I was making cigars already at that point for 4 years, doing a lot of money in sales. Okay, well into the millions already at that point. And I was not rolling cigars that drew right, even though when you smoked them, they drew perfect. Because the fundamentals weren't there. Everything was on the gut. I lacked the knowledge to know what makes a cigar draw consistently perfect. When later on, we're going to look at that in an in-depth way that maybe is something you haven't seen before. Because our cigars smoke with a lot of fucking smoke because of the draw. The draw is what's going to give it to you. The draw can give it to you. The draw can do miraculous things for your business and miraculous things for a cigar. If it's done 100% perfectly. And when you go to our factory floor, you look for Lieberman machines. You're not going to see a whole factory full of whole Lieberman machines. You're going to see some leather straps for the guys who roll the Picadora product. But, little leather.
We have a few Liebermans for some of the short filled chintzy stuff.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Short fill is separate. I'm talking about Picadora is Picadora. But on the long fill side, I want to roll cigars on a wooden pallet or on a metal pallet from Maduro. That's how I want to roll cigars, like that. Not the book and shit. Okay, not putting stuff in a leather strap and pulling the arm To me, let somebody else do that. That's not how we're going to make cigars at this factory. If we're going to make a premium product, we're going to make a premium product to the core. And that's where everything changed. You know.